Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is going to be a quick update explaining the things that we can expect in the Season 5 Reloaded update coming on September 9th. First up, we've got a new Zombies Outbreak region coming called Armada, and yes, this may look a little familiar. You've also got this weird black chest in the background that we'll talk about in a moment, but first, let's just talk about the map itself. It's located in the North Atlantic Ocean, and Armada was the site of NATO and Warsaw Pact skirmishes over a sunken prototype nuclear submarine. That's kind of the historical context, I suppose, that they're building out for why this is an Outbreak map. Now, with the Dark Ether spreading into the Atlantic, it seems nuclear armaments weren't the only volatile element in the area, and so the usual occurs: a dimensional rift has caused an intense energy spike, and the area has become rich with Ethereum crystals. So, nothing really too crazy there, it's just another Outbreak zone. But what is new is this mysterious black chest, right? And this is actually a new world event. It's going to be coming to all Outbreak zones, like it's not exclusive to Armada by any means, but the details of the black chest are currently a bit of a mystery. But what's interesting is we'd already have the gold chest events, so we've now got another chest event here, and hopefully this is going to be harder or more rewarding in some way to kind of make it feel a bit distinct from those other chest events that already exist. They do state that the reward may far outweigh the risks, so it sounds pretty exciting, but we'll have to actually try it out in game to see what happens on September 9th. Now, there's also a really interesting change coming in round-based maps, so it's not all Outbreak, which many of you will be happy to hear, I think. And it's a new feature to ramp up the action from the very start of the game called the Rampage Inducer. It will appear as an orange essence canister in the starting area, so the spawn area of any round-based map, and it will temporarily ramp up the difficulty to cranked level proportions if all members of a squad agree to take on the challenge. This means zombie spawn rates will speed up, and all zombies will sprint all the way through to round 20, ensuring that you basically don't have a slow start to your game. You're just sort of playing on super fast mode from the very beginning, and you can get through those early rounds faster. And I think this is such a good change. Treyarch have done a really good job this year of adding things into the game that we didn't really even know that we needed before, or that we kind of run up against as problems in previous Zombies games, but weren't sure what the optimal solution would be, or weren't sure if Treyarch would even bother to change some of these things. They just sort of felt like we were doomed to just experience them that way forever, right? But this is one of those examples where they've taken a pain point from those previous games, like setting up in a Zombies map takes a while, and it's a little slow at the beginning, and those first rounds are a bit dull. And it totally removes that problem, but in a way that still gives you the option to play the normal way by any means, but you now also have the option to play a different way and to play faster and to play in the more exciting way potentially if you so choose to do so. And that's just fantastic. Treyarch, thank you so much for doing this. I hope that this is something that will continue in future Zombies games. They've really done a good job here of setting the bar with these quality of life changes that hopefully will never go away now. And I'm looking forward to seeing if there's any other things like this that they also sneak in as the season goes on and as we go into Season 6 to just kind of innovate the base understanding of what it means to play Zombies as a mode for the player base. Also, if you guys like Onslaught, there is new content and a weapon blueprint being added as a reward in it, so you're getting a new map and new intel as you always do. It's Onslaught Drive-In, and you're also getting a new limited time mode called Diminishing Light, which is a twist on the original formula where the circle actually shrinks over time. If the orb collapses in on itself, it will implode and destroy you and your duo partner if you're playing co-op, so you have to shoot it to slow down the shrink rate or collect clock power-ups to pause the collapse. Completing surges, as you would normally do in Outbreak, will revert the orb to its original size, and that's how you're going to work your way towards the new blueprint that I mentioned. It's awarded for 30 surge completions in the LTM, and it looks like this. It's a Soviet Red Legendary Assault Rifle, and it's got a bunch of high-level attachments as well if you haven't got it leveled up. In Season, there's a new LTM coming to Outbreak for hardcore players, like people that really like a challenge, called Survival. And the idea here is that you've got your black chest and your Rampage Inducer, and those are designed to kind of test the mettle of more serious Zombies players, and this is going in a similar direction, right? If you're looking for a real challenge, you can play Outbreak Survival, which will amp up the survival horror aspect of the Zombies experience fundamentally changing Outbreak supposedly and making it a punishing yet rewarding challenge. You will only bring in the field upgrade from your starting loadout, with your primary weapon being replaced with a simple 1911 handgun, so it's a little closer to the authentic zombies experience. Once boots hit the ground in a random region, more modifiers become clear, such as the minimap and overhead map being disabled, music being turned off, and the HUD displaying little information compared to what you might be used to. Whenever you take damage, there is no auto regeneration to save your health and just boost you back up, and instead you have to find a new item called food to heal you. Food will have 4 rarities: uncommon, which heals 50 HP, rare, which heals 100 HP, epic, which heals 150, and legendary, which heals 200, and heals 1 HP per second for 60 seconds. So it does give you a little bit of regen, and the actual foods that those correspond to are canned corn, chocolate chip cookies, chicken soup, and an entire pizza. Other than those modifications, though, the rest of Outbreak remains the same, right? You've got to survive, complete the objectives, go to the next world, warp forwards, or exfil. It sounds fascinating, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to streaming this, trying it out, and seeing what it's actually like. It's an innovation on the zombies mode that I really didn't think that we would ever get this year, like this late into the game. The fact that they're trying entirely new game modes with food in zombies now, like, that's crazy to think about. So I'll definitely be making a bunch of content on this to sort of check it out, and maybe I'll also do like a little mini review or something to give my thoughts on it and feedback for the devs. One thing I will say for you guys that might be sort of curious why this is happening now is I think there is a real decent chance that what we're seeing here is not actually just a random mode, but it's actually Treyarch trialing things for their next game. Because remember, Treyarch's next zombies mode is not coming in like 2023. It's coming this year. It's coming in like 2 months' time now. And so what I reckon they might be doing is building out these experiences that they're planning for this next game, but then introducing them in Cold War almost as a zombies beta. Like, we'd be playing a beta for the next game, but we don't even know it. Maybe the next game is gonna have food. Maybe the next game is gonna have things like no minimap. It's gonna go back to that sort of bare bones feel. It's gonna go back to spawning in with a pistol. Like, they want to make the community warm to those original kind of styles and features that the zombies mode might have had, while also introducing some new concepts so that we're ready and prepared when we go into this next game, and it's not like too much of a culture shock, if that makes sense. I feel like that might be what's happening here, especially with the fact that they keep innovating and experimenting in Onslaught, and I just don't imagine Onslaught has that many players. Like, I know it's a Sony deal, it's a Sony partnership because it's an exclusive mode, and so maybe there's something in their contract that basically says, yeah, we have to do an extra load of LTMs for Onslaught throughout the entire year, and we're just forced to do that, right? But I think that they probably would be using that dev time as effectively as possible. Like, they're not just going to be wasting their time purely for the sake of getting the Sony paycheck. And so things like new modes where the circle closes in, or another one where you've got new power-ups that are being made, like, that's not just a bare bones sort of extra LTM that's a random thing that you sort of throw away and that's that. There's actually some thought going into that, and there's some real dev time going in as well, I'm sure. And it's the sort of thing that would then make sense, in my opinion, to be carried on in future projects that Treyarch might be working on, such as the new Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies mode. So does that mean somewhere in the new game we're going to be seeing something like Onslaught? Well, maybe. I have no idea, but maybe there'll be those sorts of challenges, or maybe they'll be using mechanics that they're building now in the Easter egg in Vanguard or something. And similarly, with this new Outbreak Survival mode, maybe they're exploring the idea of bringing some of that into the next game, especially if there's a positive community reaction to it. That's going to be a green light for them to shove in all the pizza and canned corn and whatever the hell cookies they can possibly add into Vanguard, because they know that people already like that system and they want more of it. They want something more fleshed out, and they're giving the fans what they want at that point. And then on the flip side, if we don't like it, then they can probably scrap some of the features that might be in the new game, or at least make them a little closer to what we like. And that's why I'm saying it's almost feeling like this might be a beta for some of those upcoming features. But again, I could be totally wrong here. None of this might be in the next game. This might purely be Treyarch just experimenting, developing the game, and having some fun with it. But this late in the cycle, my suspicion is that this work is being done on the back of work that's already being done for Vanguard. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.